Hi everyone, and welcome to the second of our Motivational Friday videos. So I want us thinking about why we've come together for this journey. So we're going to be exploring, discovering and sensing what movement you have available to your body. And when you set your mind to it, you can achieve anything. Please be mindful though of how you feel. Please don't you take yourself into anything that feels uncomfortable, and if you're at all unsure, please seek advice from a health professional or somebody like myself, a sports therapist, and you're always welcome to message me at any time if you're not sure. So with that in mind, let's get set up. So we're going to use our mountain pose. So if you're feeling a little bit wobbly, you can start with your feet hip width apart, or you can come with your feet together. And I'd like you to really sense your body, and I'd like you to put some really lovely roots down from your feet into the core of the earth, into that beautiful bright orange ball, the earth's energy that we're going to tap into, and we're going to bring that beautiful energy up into our body. So trying to think about being nice and even, front, back, sides of our feet, lifting up through the arch of our feet, bringing that energy up into our body, up through our legs, using our lovely muscles to have this, like a barbershop spiral, using these muscles to take our legs round, so we've got this connection in our inner and outer thighs all the way up into our bottom cheeks, drawing up through the inside of our arch, coming up into our pelvis, lifting up through the pelvic floor, coming up through our body, up through our diaphragm, feeling that beautiful energy. Some staying in our powerhouse, this lower belly area, coming up all the way through to the crown of our head. Imagine now you've got a tail, an extra tail from the tip of your tailbone, and that's growing long down to the floor, creating this space and length in your lower back. And it's starting to create space here in our waistline. And you're creating space now here on your shoulders and at the front and the back of your throat. And we're growing nice and tall, and all the time thinking about this beautiful energy being created here. Imagine now a laser beam across from hip bone to hip bone, and you're taking these beautiful lower tummy muscles away from that laser beam, and we're not going to break it. And we're just standing here nice and tall, sensing how we feel, feeling full of energy and strength, nice and lean and strong. So we're going to go into a roll down. Now if you're feeling a little bit unsteady, unstable, you can have yourself stood against the wall and have your whole of your back and have your feet about 5 inches away from the wall and your knees nice and soft and bent. But if you're feeling nice and comfortable stood here, we're going to use our tummy muscles to help support us. So again, only go to where you feel comfortable. If you want your hands on the front of your thighs as a bit of support, that's fine. So taking a breath in, on our out breath we're going to roll our chin into our chest. We're going to imagine we're velcroing ourselves off that wall, bone by bone. We're going to roll down through our middle back, our lower back, all the way through. Now stopping wherever you're comfortable to. So your hands might be below your thighs, mid-shin. You might come all the way down to your feet. But please be comfortable. You now feel those belly muscles pulling back up towards your spine. I want your head hanging nice and loose, and your neck and your arms hanging loose away from your body. Now we're going to pull those tummy muscles in, so starting at your lower belt muscles, they pull back up towards your spine to help you re-velcro against the wall, then your middle belly muscles, now your upper belly muscles, and now into your in between your shoulder blades, shoulders down, and then we come up head last. Lovely. So we're going to do that one more time. So you can have your hands here, as I said, against the wall, so breathing in. On an out breath, chin tucked in, and we roll the shoulders forwards and the arms away from our body. Our upper belly muscles pull back. Our lower middle belly muscles pull back. Our lower belly muscles pull back. Our arms, our head and neck are hanging nice. Stop where you feel comfortable. You can have your hands holding there or just nice and loose. Breathing in. On the out breath, we re-stack. We will re-velcro against that imaginary wall behind us, or the wall if you're using it to help be yourself stable. We roll the shoulders down and we set ourselves back up again. So lower belly muscles away from that laser beam. Shoulders grow down towards our seat. Middle finger down the side seam of our trousers, creating space. So we're going to do our arm circles. So we're going to bring our arms up in front, coming up overhead, nice and tall. Use those upper belly muscles to keep our rib cage back into our spine. And we're going to circle back down to the sides of our thighs. So all the time creating length and space and using our energy. Lovely. So breathing in. On the out breath, reaching tall and then down to the side of your body. Reaching tall all the way through, but we're not arching our back. We're using those tummy muscles, especially these upper tummy muscles, to keep the rib cage into the back. Lovely. So breathing one last time and back down. So we're mobilising our shoulder and our upper back. So now we're going to go into our Pilates squats. So just check that our feet are nice and comfortable and we've still got that nice sense that we're growing tall into our lower belts. So check that they're staying away from that laser beam. Our hands are lengthening away down those side seams. And we're going to sit our bottom back as though we're going to sit on a chair. And we're going to bring those hands up to chest height and reach forwards. But we're using our tummy muscles to keep ourselves nice and straight in the back. And then we're going to sort of push our arms down back to our side. So we're pushing up and pushing our arms down. At the same time, we're sitting our bottom back. So I'm going to turn sideways to show you. And you can see my knees are not travelling forwards over my toes. So I'm bending here, my bottom, my hips, and my knees aren't travelling forwards, and I'm pushing back, so like I'm trying to push back into a wall with my hands. But can you see I'm squeezing my bottom as I come up, and I'm pushing the floor away as I'm pushing back with my arms, but I'm keeping a space in between my shoulder blades. One last time, so I'm really using that lovely energy. Lovely. So this time we're going to go into a foot series. So again, setting everything up. This foot series is great for working on your ankles. So first of all, nice and tall and lean, taking those tummy muscles away from your laser beam. All of the headlights, shoulders, hips, one on the breastbone are pointing forwards, create that space. Tail is lengthening away so you feel that nice length in your lower back. And we're just going to come a little way off with the heels off the mat, so we're on to our forefoot. So it just has to be a little heel lift and then squeezing back down. So imagine you have springs of a sponge underneath both heels that you're pushing back into the floor. Lovely. So it doesn't have to be a big lift. And if you feel a little bit wibbly wobbly, you could always hold on to a chair or onto the side of the wall or onto a side, just so you keep your balance, so you stay safe. So we're just coming up and down. Now, what we're going to add into is we're going to do our squat. We're now just going to bring those heels just as so off the floor. Now we're going to go tall and squeeze those heels back down again. So we sit our bottom back. The heels just come off the floor, we go tall and down. So we push and we go into our squat. We lift the heels just as so. We come up and down. One more time. We go sit our bottom back, so we draw those tummy muscles in. We lift the heels just and come up and down. Can we reverse it? So we come, just lift the heels. Can we sit back? Now we push the heels back into the floor and grow tall. You might find it better with the arms out to help counterbalance. So we grow tall. Yep, the heels up. Now we bend. Heels down and come up. So we lift the heels just off the floor. Squat. Push the heels down. Come up. Lovely, well done. So instead of being feet hip width apart, we're going to try in our Pilates V. So when you're in your V, I want you to sense, there's one of your ankle bones down here where the knobbly bits are. That's where your shin bones form our ankle joint. Does one of those ankle bones tend to sort of roll in and hit the other one? If so, I just want you to try and spiral, use these outer thigh muscles and this muscle round here on the outside. Just a little bit more to get that sensation, and it will start to lift that ankle out, so you're getting a little bit more lift, so you can take that joint away. It's making these muscles work a little bit more effectively. Don't overdo it so you feel like you're over tightening. So it's got to be just right for you all the time, with how much effort you're putting into these muscles working. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being really over tight, I want somewhere around about a 2 or 3. Lovely. So set up those muscles away from that lower belt area, shoulders down. Good. Nice and tall and lean, creating space. So we're going to go back into our squat. So this time the knees are going out. So if you have to have the heels away from each other in order to do that, that's fine. So again, the arms coming up and pushing back. So you feel like as the arms coming up, you're pushing them up through water and pushing back against the wall as you come down. But they're not coming past that side seam in your legs. Yep. So you're finding that effort good. So you might have to have the heels out, that's fine. Or if you can keep them together. So whatever's good on your knees, it's got to feel good all the time. Good. Now, we're going to go into our heel raises. So again, so just and so, bringing them off the floor and squeezing them down. Really feeling these bottom cheeks work and those muscles. Lovely. Last one. Now, can we sit back, bring the heels off, grow tall. No, lost my balance. So sit back, bring the heels off, grow tall and down. Sit the bottom back, lift the heels, grow tall and squeeze down. Last one. Lift off, grow tall and down. Shake everything out. Lovely. So we're going to work a little bit more into our legs. So we're going to take our legs hip width apart, set everything up, so tummy muscles away from that lower belt area, square that box, nice and tall, make space, draw that energy into your powerhouse. So we're just going to sit back a little bit. If you're finding you're getting a little bit nippy in that lower back, either don't sit back so far, or just tuck under a little bit more. Draw those tummy muscles in, and we're going to lift those arms up, and I want you to feel like you're growing tall through the crown of the head and that tail is lengthening away from behind you. And we're going to work into these shoulder girdle muscles now, and we're creating space from one shoulder to the next. So bringing those arms out, and we're just going to lift up and down. So we're lifting up and down. We're lifting up. So this is called swimming, standing, and breathe. So you've really got to draw all of that six pack in. So we're keeping that nice length there. So you might find you can go a bit deeper if that's more comfortable, or you have to come up taller to be more comfortable. So you feel that back from here to here is staying nice and long. But we're keeping these shoulders down, we're keeping these six pack engaged. That's what's giving us the support. Last one. Hands up, grow tall. Lovely. Shoulder rolls. Good. Now we're going to go back into that position. I'm going to stand sideways. You can hold on to a wall or the side to do this. I'm going to show you sideways. So we're going to go back into our squat. We're going to shift our weight over onto our left. We're going to make sure those tummy muscles are engaged. Shoulders down. We're going to take our foot back behind us. So my heel is off the ground and I'm on the ball of my foot. So as I said, you can hold on to the wall in front of you. We're going to be working into our bottom cheeks. And this is called scooter. So we're going to have a little bit of body lean. So it takes that little nippy feeling out of your lower back. And we're going to bring that foot in to alongside our other foot and then scoot it back. So bring it in. So all the weight now is on my supported leg and my bottom cheeks are working. We're drawing those tummy muscles in. We're not collapsing, so there's nice space here and at the shoulders. So if you need to come up a little bit taller, but can you see this knee, I'm not bobbing up and down on it, it's staying still. So if you want to have your hands against the wall or holding on to something as support, but this knee is staying still. And we're coming tall. We're going to go into the other side. So set everything up. Draw those tummy muscles in. Away from that laser beam. Square the box. All the headlights are going forwards at the moment. So I'm going to go into that squat. So wherever you're comfortable. So sit back. Weight shift over now onto the right leg. Take the left leg back. So just check now. So my headlights are going to be pointing down to the floor in front now. Because I've got a slight lean. Yep. So hold on to something if you feel wibbly wobbly. Okay, so now all my weight is over on this side. So I can then bring this left leg in and out. So I'm working this supporting leg, the leg that's still. And can you see, I'm not going up and down. So if you need to, so I'm trying to keep that nice spiralling sensation with these muscles. So if you feel a bit nippy in this lower back, comes up, so you've got to stay nice and tall. So this tailbone, so it's going on an angle. Good. Last one. So as I said, you can hold on. You don't have to be doing it freestyle like I'm doing. Only if you're feeling stronger. So lovely. Right, so nice and tall. Little bit of a knee squat. Hands holding on at the front here. Draw those tummy muscles away from that laser beam because it supports your lower back. So they're really supporting. I want you to feel like you can use these tummy muscles to pull these hip bones in. So I'm going to show you sideways again. I don't want you rounding and collapsing at this point. So our headlights are now pointing slightly down. We're going to do cat and cow standing. I love this. So we're going to round our head in. So we're looking down now in between our feet. And we're going to round here in, tuck it in so now it's coming forwards. And we were going to round up into between our shoulder blades, keeping these knees bent. Now I'm going to go the other way, so my tummy muscles are staying away from that lower belt. So my tailbone now, I'm going to take up towards the ceiling and I'm going to look straight ahead. Okay, now press down your hands into your thighs for support. So I'm going to go the other way. So this time my tailbone, because I'm rocking it, so it's now coming forwards towards the wall in front of me. And I'm going to tuck my chin in towards my chest. So now I'm looking directly at my lower belly. And I'm rounding up in between my shoulder blades. One more time. I'm going to take my tailbone up behind. So now it's rolling up. And my lower back dips. So go to where you feel comfortable. And it's not nipping in this lower back. Keep these knees bent. Now I'm going to look just slightly forward so I'm okay in my neck. And then I'm going to bring my tailbone back. So I'm going to straighten my back. So now I'm in that straight line before I stand back up again and shoulder rolls. Lovely. Well done, everybody. So we're going to do a little bit of hip extension work. So our hip extension is the ability to take the leg back behind us. And as we get older and a bit arthritic in our hip, it's one of the movements that we start to find a little bit harder, because we start to tend to come up into our lower back and use these lower back muscles rather than our thigh muscle and a little bit of our glutes, which we're meant to use. So again, if you're feeling uncomfortable or unstable, you can hold on to somewhere, hold on to the back of a chair in order to do this. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see, because I don't want you sticking your bottom back. I want you to come nice and tall. So into position, creating space and energy. Energy and power comes from our powerhouse, our lower belly. Square your box, so I want all these headlights going forwards and you looking forwards. I want you to sense your bottom cheeks and your thigh muscles, especially from where they attach on this sitting bone area. Okay. If you're starting to feel like you're getting nippy in your lower back, we can play around with that sensation. So if you need to hold on, I need you staying nice and tall. Engage those lower belly muscles away from that laser beam. Make sure these legs are feeling nice and spirally, like that barbershop pole. Feet engage those roots into the floor, these hands down the side, so we feel now like we're starting to create space, and that tail heading straight down to the floor in between our legs. Okay, so we're going to take that right foot back behind us, and I'm on the ball of my foot, my heels lifted, and just take a little bit. You see, I'm leaning from my hip, not collapsing with my shoulders rolling forwards. It's just there. So you should feel like that lower back, that table is still taking your lower back long. Now put your right hand on your sort of at the bottom of your sitting bone and on your thigh around your buttock. Now you'll feel this. So it's like a squeeze and a lift, like a little tap, tap. So it's like a little squeeze and tap, tap, tap. Keep those tummy muscles away from that laser beam. Keep those headlights all square. Yep. So tap, tap. Now, can you squeeze and hold? If that is too much, you can just squeeze those muscles, yeah, and keep the foot on the floor. And you'll feel everything's, yeah. And then, yeah, so if that tap and that little tap and lift is too much, because eventually what I want you to try is squeeze and lift. So if that is too much and you're feeling a bit, just either try a little lean forwards and see if that helps. Make sure you're lengthening. Yeah, it's that tap and lift. Right, lovely. So I'm going to go to the other side. So square everything up, tummy muscles. Yeah. Take the left leg back a little, from here. Yeah. Make sure those tummy muscles are still working away from that laser beam, but they're not breaking that laser beam yet. Have that left hand now. So tap. Tap, and you'll probably find one side feels a lot better than the other. Yep. Because sometimes it's to do with my balance as well. Yeah, really make those tummy muscles work. Yep, soften the knees. Tap. Now can you squeeze and hold? If not, all you're doing is just making those leg muscles work and keeping the tippy toes on the floor. Lovely. Well done everybody. So really shake those out, nice work. Now if you're able to, come down on the floor. We're going to work on all fours and we're going to do a little bit of mobility work for the spine. So if you're sore with the knees, have some pad, some rolled up towels or something just to work underneath your knees. And we're going to come into all fours. So knees hip width apart. And we want you to put those shins into the floor and hands just slightly wider than your shoulders and slightly forwards. Don't lock your elbows and twist them round. I want those the knobbly parts of your elbows pointing out the way and the creases on the inside. Draw those tummy muscles away from that laser beam, and I want you looking straight down. I don't want you dropping in your breastbone into the floor, so lift up slightly, have that tailbone, that tail going straight away out from the crown of your head. We're going to go into our cat and cow, and this is called sexy cat and cow because we're adding in a bit of movement. So into cat, we're going to roll our head in, so we're now looking at sort of almost down between our knees, and we're going to bring that tail, we're going to using our tummy muscles to pull our tailbone between our legs, and we're rounding up. Now, staying there, we're going to take our right hip over to the side. Now we're going to go into cow. So I want you to take your tailbone up towards the ceiling and looking up, where we're going to come back to centre. Now we're going to go back into cat. So we're going to tuck everything in and under, so head in, tailbone under, rounding up. Now take your hip over to the left. Now we're going to go back into cow. So we're going to take the tailbone up to the ceiling, looking forwards, come back to the centre. Now we're going to go back into cat. So we tuck under, head in, take your right hip over to the side, go back into cow. So wherever you feel comfortable to, so it might only be a tiny, tiny little movement. So as soon as you've done cat, you go to the side, you go into cow, and then come back to the centre. So we go into cat from the centre, we take the hip out to the side, we go into cow, and then come back to the centre. We come into cat. We hold there, we go out to the side with our hip, we then go into cow, we hold cow, we come back to centre. We round up into cat, we hold that, we move the hip to the side, and then we go into cow, we come back to the centre. We round up into cat, we move the hip to the side, we go into cow, we come back to centre, and we then level everything back up. Keeping the hands into the floor, anchored into the floor, bring those tummy muscles back in, away from that laser beam. I want you to gently start to lower your bottom back to wherever you're comfortable. If you have to have a pillow or something underneath, that's fine. I want you to keep those arms long so we're getting a stretch. Good. So wherever you can comfortably go, but as I said, if you need something under this gap, that's fine. And feel that nice length. So this is your child pose, or we call this the shell pose in Pilates. And I really want you to sort of lengthen back. So you should feel this nice sense of lengthening all the way down the side of your body. And breathe into it. Once you're happy, I want you to walk your hands round to your right and take your hip over to the left, and you'll feel this stretch all the way down the left side of the body. Breathe into it, just like try and let yourself sort of go into it, sort of use your breathing to let your body open out and create space. Walk those hands back to the middle, settle again, and then we're going to walk our hands round to the right, and we're going to take our hip over to the left, so you're opening out and creating space all the way down the right side of the rib cage and the right side of the body. Lovely. And breathe into it. Bring the hands back to centre and see if you can sink back a little bit more. If that's too uncomfortable, you can just come up wherever you're comfy. It's always about feeling comfortable in yourself. So anywhere where you're comfy. And then we're going to come round to sitting. So again, sit wherever you're comfortable. So soles of the feet together into a diamond position, legs out, legs crossed. And I want you to be nice and tall and equal on those sitting bones. And gently close your eyes. And I want you to use that nice deep breathing. So breathing into the back of you, into the back of your rib cage, As you breathe out, I want you to hold those belly muscles in. Trying to breathe really deeply down, feeling energised right into your core. Sensing that beautiful bright orange light filling the whole of your body. Drawing it up from each toe, filling each toe as you breathe in and out, coming up through your legs, up through the top of your thighs as you breathe in and out, coming up through your pelvis into your lower back. Up through the upper back, your lungs, your chest. Down your arms, filling up each finger. Bright orange, full of energy. Back up your arms, up your neck, into your jaw, your face, breathing in all the time this bright energy and letting go of any tension. And finally filling the whole of your head and out through the top of your head. And then when you're ready, just gently opening your eyes, feeling energised and ready, knowing that you can visit this anytime and that you can achieve anything that you want to do. Well done, everybody.